what does it look like in practice to live in a country in which the domination and elimination camps are the strongest, and those in power? Well, a couple years ago, the Israeli artist Asaf Chanukah, he illustrated this political cartoon, and what he was saying here, if it's not obvious, is that militarism is so encoded into the Israeli psyche that it's as if it's imprinted on babies when they're still in their mother's tummies, that even fetuses are militarized. Of course, he's joking, he's trying to be satirical. The problem is that this isn't satire anymore. This year, just a few months ago, an Israeli hospital actually produced this advertisement in which they appealed to people, said, well, we want you to give birth in our hospital. If you give birth to your babies in our hospital, there's a greater chance that those babies will turn out to be military heroes. So it's like satire is impossible. Reality has eclipsed it. This is where we're at. This is how far gone we are. Of course, this is just an illustration, but it's borne out by what's happening on the ground. So in recent years, we see Israeli police actually embarking on a new program to instill militarism in grade school youth, bringing police officers and police weapons to grade schoolers and letting them, try them on for size, and even taking, doing demonstrations where they pretend to do a shootout and shoot down a terrorist, and yay, the police shot dead the terrorist, and then even sometimes taking students to firing ranges to shoot at pictures of Arabs in keffiyeh, in scarves. Now, okay. It's not only David Sheen talking about this stuff. Let's just put this in a proper perspective. This is Yosef Shapira, who is Israel's comptroller. I don't know if you have a comptroller here in the Netherlands. It's someone who's, it's an apolitical position, an official whose job it is just to ensure that the government is accountable and does what it says it's going to do, and et cetera. So he issued a report 2 years ago, and it was a report on Israel's education system. How are Israeli youth being educated? And what he found there, he wrote, I will not gloss over the state of affairs. It shows a grim picture. The state of Israel is doing very little to purge the severe phenomena of racism and hatred among youth. Worse than this, he says, over the years, the Ministry of Education has avoided taking the necessary steps for the prevention of racism. So not only is it not doing anything, it's purposefully not doing anything. Why would it not doing anything? Why would it? Well, in the last decade, Netanyahu has been prime minister the entire time, but Israel has cycled through a series of education ministers, but all of those education ministers have been Orthodox Jews. And that hasn't been accidental. It's been purposeful, very much so. And now we're going to go into a section of the talk that is the most sensitive part, as I alluded to earlier. So what does it mean for Israeli Jews to study in a system, in an education system in which Orthodox Jewry, state-sponsored Orthodox Jewry, is infused into the curriculum? So you get to school, day one, and school gives out these agenda books. Do you have them here in the Netherlands as well, where you can write your schedule for the week, for the month, and what homework assignments you have? So kids get to school, they get this agenda book, and included in the agenda book is this cartoon. Again, I don't expect you to read Hebrew, I'll break it down in English. So this is the cartoon. Brother and a sister talking. Hey, Uzi, let's play war. All right, I'll bring my soldier costume from Purim. Purim is a Jewish holiday. It's like a Bacchanalian festival, and it's like a Hebrew Halloween, kind of kids love to dress up. So he gets his soldier costume. 15 minutes later, at the end of the war. Hey, Jewish soldier. Okay, so you defeated us and took me captive. But if you marry me, if you free me, I'll marry you. You ought to, I'm really pretty. What is this? This is some weird, marry a Gentile? A daughter of the enemy? Never. No chance, no way. Wait, actually, I once learned that there is a law called Pretty Woman. What is he talking about here? This is an actual thing. Okay, all medieval religions have their weird wonky rules, but this is an actual thing, and it's not just past tense, it's very much present tense, because this rabbi, Eyal Krem, when he was asked, it's common for Orthodox Jews to like pose questions to leading rabbis saying, what should I do under this circumstance? What's the law that I should follow? And so when he was asked, straight up, quote, is it allowed for an IDF soldier to rape girls? I mean, that's what it would seem from this law in the Talmud, this pretty woman law. Is this in fact true? He responds, the Torah permitted the individual to satisfy the evil urge. So yes, Jewish soldiers may rape non-Jewish women during wartime. Now, after he made this statement, he was made chief rabbi of the Israeli army of Jewish soldiers. Worrying isn't even the word. And again, it's not just one, it's not just some, one rabbi in the middle of nowhere that no one knows about. No. Shmuel Eliyahu has been the chief rabbi of the holy city of Tzfat for 30 years. He makes a big fat paycheck from my tax money. And what does he do with it when people come to him for his sagely wisdom? And he's asked, I should also point out, you know how it goes. He's a chief rabbi, the son of a chief rabbi as well. And so when Shmuel Eliyahu is asked, if the regime in Israel was a Jewish theocracy, would a pretty woman be permitted nowadays as well? If we succeed in creating this Torah state where there's no separation between state and synagogue, then would we also still be allowed to rape non-Jewish women in wartime? Where is the respect for women? So women are war booty? That kind of life is worse than dying at war. The person who wrote this is obviously perturbed by what he's read in the texts, and he wants to clarify it. Can this be? I mean, allowing a Jewish soldier to rape a woman, and it's unconscionable in our day and time. And so Shmuel Eliyahu didn't see it that way. He responded saying, now he has got to fight the Jewish soldier, and you shouldn't be preaching morality to him. Don't weaken his spirit. Far from his wife, cravings burn in him. During war, he's liable to think about women and then not fight as well. If you forbid him from a beautiful woman, it's likely to get to the point where the Jewish people will be defeated. If he can't rape willy-nilly, he's not going to fight as well. In that case, the Torah said, if it burns in you, take a pretty woman. Wow. This is an indictment, if anything.